coming. Uh, the frog jumped out of the hole, climbed the ladder, now got something even faster and better. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Woohoo, woohoo! Wow, look at that. Look at that, huh? A bicycle all the way from Spain. Survived. I had my food here, everything, my backpack. Wow. And finally, we are here at the third SID LE Congress. Oh, with this bike all the way from Spain. That's incredible. You know, bicycles can teach us wonderful and powerful lessons. And I hope that, you know, this afternoon we'll really remember the lessons from a bicycle. You know, this bicycle is not a brand new one, but it's still working and it's still going. The thing is that, you know, bicycles help you to get to places much faster than, you know, just walking. That's why, you know, we can actually learn from the bicycles and use the bicycles and apply the lessons from the bicycles into our ministries and into our work. I remember I was a little boy, maybe 6 years old, and I really wanted a bike. And I was pleading and pleading with my father, yeah, please give me a bike. And I remember one day, it was Christmas, and you know, a box arrived, and I was, you know, thinking, you know, what is in this box? It's a big box, of course, you know, the bike was not unassembled, and I started to be very happy, even without knowing what was inside. You probably have heard, you know, about that story of, you know, the two boys. One of the boys, he was always complaining. He would always look into the negative. And it doesn't matter, you know, what the parents would do. You know, one of the boys would always complain. But the other boy was always optimistic. And one day, you know, the parents put the two boys into test. They prepared, you know, a very nice gift to the boy that was always complaining. And they put, you know, the gift there. And for the other boy, you know, that was always happy, optimistic, they also put something there. So when the boy, the complaining boy, unwrapped, you know, his gift, it was, you know, a handmade truck, beautiful, handmade, you know, and everything. But he unwrapped the gift and started looking at the gift and started, you know, right away complaining. Well, you know, the color of this truck, you know, I don't like. You know, this is made by wood. You know, this is very heavy to play with it. And the parents were just, you know, watching. And then, you know, one of the other, you know, gift that was to the optimistic boy, he went and took, you know, his gift and unwrapped the gift. And guess what? It was just, you know, some manure. And the boy unwrapped, the gift, and he started jumping and jumping. He said, wow, wow, I got a best gift. I got a horse as a gift. Of course, he was only receiving the manure of the horse, wrapped. But because he was optimistic, he was already thinking that, the best was coming, and that was, a horse as a gift. So I remember this day that I received, this gift, and I was optimistic about it, and all of a sudden, my parents helped to unwrap, and it was a bicycle. We assembled the bicycle, and then I learned the first lesson that I would like to share with you this afternoon, and you probably already know if you have, ridden bikes before. The very first lesson is that in order for you to ride a bike, you have to learn to be balanced. Otherwise, you cannot. You have to learn how to be balanced. And then, when you are balanced, you can actually do lots of things with your bike. Now, literature evangelists. Literature evangelists, and also leaders, pastors, publishing directors, you must be balanced. Pastor Mahoney this morning asked a question, what should we do as literature evangelists? Should we sell books or give Bible studies? Of course, we should do both. So, there are some literature evangelists that they don't understand and they don't keep, things in balance. Sometimes they just want to, focus on the selling and selling and selling. And they don't care about, doing missionary work and being concerned with the souls. But balanced literature evangelists, they know how to keep things, in balance. So they are selling. They must sell. And the more they sell, the more they evangelize. But they also need to give good witness. They also want, they should, there's no problem that, literature evangelists could also give Bible studies. So, the point is that, you have to be balanced in all the aspects of your life. Not only in terms of your mission focus, balancing sales with, evangelism, but also with your health. You have to be balanced, the way you eat, the way you rest, the way you work. Balance should always be there. And bicycles teach us how to be balanced. Another big lesson that, the bicycles can teach us is that in order for you to go farther and faster, actually you also have to put some energy and some effort. Otherwise, you don't move. And talking about effort and energy, sometimes I see, literature evangelists, they want success, but without too much effort. And let me tell you, without effort, you don't go anywhere. So, of course, you need to have energy. You have to have effort in order to, keep pedaling and keep moving. And that is the energy and the tenacity, the perseverance that, they at least have to put into work. When you are moving, of course, you need to have, the sense of destination, where you want to arrive. That represents, your goals, your objectives. The most successful literary evangelists that I have met so far in my life, in my experience. This year I am finishing 37 years of denominational work. And all these years I have been involved with, the publishing ministry. Either, canvassing, working as a publishing director, associate publishing director, or even now at the publishing houses. I never met a literary evangelist successful that would not have, goals. Daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. As a matter of fact, some time ago I heard a story about a successful literary evangelist that, he would not go home every day until he would accomplish his daily goal. He would not go home. And he was working in an office building the whole day, and he was only able to sell some, magazines and no books. And he had a goal to sell at least, 3 sets of books. He was offering, 4 books as a set. And he was supposed to, his daily goal was to sell 4 sets of books, 16 books. And it was already, the end of the day. He was, working in that office building, and very challenging, very difficult. It was almost 6 o'clock, and he thought to himself, well, if I am not able to reach my goal today, after 6 o'clock, I am going to another barrier, and I'm going to visit, the homes, because after work, people go back home, so I will go to visit the homes. And he told me, I never go to my home until I reach my daily goal. Sometimes I knock doors on the evening, and people come with their pajamas already 9:30, 10 in the evening, going to bed, and they see me and they get shocked because they come, with their pajamas. And then I don't know if they have pity on me or what, but they let me in, I present the books, I sell, and then after I finish my daily goal, I go back home. So this man was telling me his story. So it was almost 6 o'clock, and he was already going to the elevator to go down and go to the barrier to work in the houses, in the homes. But when he was passing, most of the offices were already closed down, but he saw some light, under one of the doors. He came closer to the door, and he saw that, there were some people conversing, talking, inside. So he came even closer. He knocked on the door. The door was opened. And for his surprise, there was a meeting. And in that meeting, there were several people around the table. You know what happened, when somebody interrupts, everybody gets quiet and, keeps looking at you. And that's what's happened. They start, all of them looking at him. And then something really quick came to his mind. Said, well, this is my opportunity. He said, well, I'm sorry, it looks like you are in a meeting, but I just need 2 minutes from your attention. What he didn't say, it was 2 prophetic minutes. But the man sitting in the head of the table said, go ahead. And he made, a very enthusiastic presentation. He opened his prospectus and, he started showing the books. And he knew, his sales report. And then at the end of the presentation, the man, in the back, in the head of the table, just said, please, we appreciate, what you are doing. We appreciate the books that you have shown us. We are here a law office, and we have, 25 lawyers that are part of the office. As a matter of fact, we are here now 22 lawyers, and two of them are, three of them are outside on a mission. And, let's do this. The office is going to sponsor one set for each lawyer. So you please write down, and bring us 25 sets. When you come with the books, please talk with my secretary, Mrs. So-and-so. She will write you a check on behalf of the office, and you deliver her the books. What do you think? That literature evangelist, he had a goal. He knew where he was going. He had a daily goal, a weekly goal. And that's why the bikes can help us, because they can take us to places. When we have goals, they can help us to arrive to our destinations. Now, when we talk about bikes, I always associate bikes, with joy, with happiness. I can see, in my mind, kids playing and, with their bikes, people running, their bikes, and it seems like, when they are running their bikes, they are happy, they are joyful. And that represents the joyfulness that we, as literature evangelists, as leaders, should have in doing our work. Every customer that we visit with, we should transmit that joy, that happiness, but not come to them, like I used to say, looking like, toasted breads. When you put the bread on the toaster, before you put the bread on the toaster, the bread, is flexible. After you put the bread on the toaster and the toaster, toasts the bread becomes, rigid. There are some literature evangelists, when they go to their customers, they behave like, with their faces like, toasted bread. They go. And they come to the customer saying, "Good afternoon, sir. I am Mario, and I work for the Home Health Education Service, and I am doing a special work about health, but I am very sad, and I am almost dying." No, literature evangelists, they should be happy. Every customer that they come in contact with, they should, be joyful coming to the customer. And you know what happened? When you go to the customer looking happy and joyful and healthy, it's more difficult for them to turn you down. Now, if you come, "Oh, good afternoon, sir, I am..." and you talk like, if you have a hot potato in your mouth. And the customer says, "What? What? I am not interested. Goodbye. Go to the next customer." Are you getting my point? So literature evangelists, they should be the happiest people. And the bicycles remind us of that joy, of that happiness. Because when you are going to places, when you are going around, you can go fast. And then, sometimes you brake and you continue and you brake and you go. And the customers, they know the difference. When you are talking to a customer, they know if you are happy. If you have, your heart full of joy, and if you are energetic, it doesn't matter the time of the day or the day of the week. They know if you are happy, if you are energized. Now, bikes also can be challenging. There are people Instead of riding, the bikes and using the bikes to take them to places, they are just going like this. Oh, this canvassing work, it's difficult, huh? Nobody wants to buy books today. People just find stuff on the internet, and, they are not interested. Oh, this ministry that God gave me, I am not understanding my call. Oh, it's difficult. I'm almost giving up. Oh, it's difficult. Yeah. And people, instead of enjoying and having the happiness that, a bicycle can represent, they are just having a hard time. Instead of, using the bike to take them to places, they are carrying it. They are carrying all kinds of loads, of concerns, of, challenges in their shoulders, instead of depositing. No, that's fine. Instead of depositing, their burdens, in the hands of Jesus. And thank you for that. Huh? Depositing, their burdens in the hands of Jesus. And giving, all the concerns, the challenges that they have, and putting them into the hands of Jesus. Let's learn from the bicycles. God wants us to use the resources that He has entrusted us, because God wants us to run and run faster and go to places faster, because we don't have too much time. As a matter of fact, we don't have time to lose. And the bicycles can really help us to keep the focus and to take us to our destination, to the places where God, wants us, to be. And you want, another example? You know what happens? I need probably 2 volunteers here that can help me to illustrate, this point. Let me see 2 strong gentlemen here that can come really quick, because I don't have too much time. 2 gentlemen. Okay, please. And the point that I want to illustrate, I want, you to hold the bike, one side, and you on the other side, and you just now raise it a little bit. There are some people that go like this. They go like this. Okay, thank you. You got the point. They are paddling. It's like, they are keeping busy, but they don't move anywhere. I will illustrate for you to get the point. Have you seen a dizzy cockroach? When the cockroach, comes out of the hole, and the cockroach is dizzy, the cockroach goes here, it goes there, it goes there, it goes there, and the cockroach is dizzy. There are some literature evangelists, when they don't have a plan, they do like, a dizzy cockroach. They wake up in the morning, they don't have a plan for the day, they go here, and they go there, and they go there, and they go there. At the end of the day, accomplishment like this. It's like, they are spinning the wheels, they are moving. without getting anywhere. Now, there are some literature evangelists, they even use the bike, but they load up the bike with things that are not relevant. You know, they put loads, and they keep adding loads to their work. And they become, you know, divided with their attention. I don't know if you know this expression, but there are some people that do the work with one eye in the mass and with the other eye in the priest. In other words, they go to church. They have one of the eyes in the mass and the other eye in the priest. Divided attention. And that's what some literature evangelists do. They have their divided attention. They don't focus on the mission. And you know what they put in their loads? Well, they bring extra materials that are not official, produced by our church, and they start, mixing. They start selling, things that are not, 100%, approved by their program. Sometimes, they have a side business, and they think, well, God has called me to the publishing ministry, but it will be okay if I sell some food. It will be okay if I sell some, this and that. And they start mixing and bringing, other loads that they are not supposed to bring. One day, a literature evangelist came to my office, and I was working as a publishing director, and he came to my office and said, well, Pastor, things are very difficult. I am not being able to, reach my goals. My wife is complaining because now we are lacking money. My children also don't understand, my work. Everybody is, kind of against me. And I started asking, him some questions. I said, brother, how many days a week do you work? He said, well, it depends, some days, some weeks, 5 days, some weeks, 4, some weeks, very rarely 6 days. And then I said, but brother, how many hours per day do you work? Well, Pastor, it depends. Some days a little more, some days a little less. And then I said, but brother, what is your daily goal? How many books do you sell every day? Well, Pastor, it depends. Some days, I sell a little more, some days a little less. And all the questions that I would ask him, he would start, oh, Pastor, it depends. I said, brother, what is your problem? Everything, it depends, it depends, it depends. You don't have clear goals. You don't have, a clear mission, how many hours you have to work, how many days, you don't have, clear goals. And that's why, you are in this situation. All depends, all depends, all depends. And to make it worse, he said, well, Pastor, I am facing, a challenge. Because lately, my mother-in-law came to live with us. And then I asked him, but brother, what is your name? What is the name of your mother-in-law? And he said, well, her name is Emerald. I said, wow, you should be happy. You know, emerald is one of the precious stones. And he said, well, Pastor, you know, she can be a precious stone, but she's still a stone. So, from every angle that I tried, you know, to approach and get, you know, something positive, he would always, you know, bring something negative. And, you know, everything was depending and depending and depending. And what he was, you know, really facing, he was, you know, carrying also as part of his load, you know, his mother-in-law, you know, with his bike that was, you know, representing a blocking, you know, road for him to advance in his work, in his ministry. So there are many more lessons that a bicycle can offer us. But I just would like to leave, you know, one last lesson with you because my time is almost up. And the lesson is this. In order for you to actually take advantage of the bike, you have to keep pedaling, keep pedaling, keep pedaling. Because when you stop pedaling, you know, you also stop. So in the literature ministry, it doesn't matter, you know, the challenges that you are facing and what you are going through. The biggest point is that you have to keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Don't give up. Keep pedaling. Because God wants you to go farther, not only to climb the ladder, but God wants you to go farther and farther. And that's why you should keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling.